One gun disappeared from the shelves back in 2014, another lost nearly half its buyers by 2016, and a few were written off completely by collectors who thought they'd never return. But in 2025, these forgotten firearms are roaring back, sparking sellouts at gun shops and bidding wars at auctions. So the question is, which of these long-lost guns are the true top picks of 2025? And are they here to stay or just riding a wave of hype? Let's find out. Number 10. Rossi R95 Lever Action. For years, lever-action rifles were written off as relics of the past, more suited for cowboy reenactments than modern hunting or range use. But in 2025, Rossi's R95 has flipped that script. Chambered in the timeless .30-30 Winchester, this rifle blends the rugged spirit of the Old West with the practical features today's shooters demand. Rossi didn't stop at tradition either. The R95 comes in both classic walnut furniture and the modern triple black variant, complete with a threaded muzzle for suppressors and an extended optics rail. Barrel lengths range between 16.5 and 20 inches, offering options for everything from close brush hunting to longer shots in the field. Every model comes drilled and tapped, meaning you can mount optics with ease instead of being limited to iron sights. At just under $1,000, the R95 undercuts many competitors while still delivering a slick action, a generous loading gate, and a lever that feels like it belongs on a custom rifle. Hunters, ranchers, and even tactical shooters are embracing it, especially in states where semi-autos are restricted. The only drawback is the tubular magazine, which forces the use of flat-point ammo, and the overall weight, which is heavier than a polymer carbine. Still, the demand speaks volumes. In 2025, R95s are flying off shelves faster than most modern rifles. And if you think a lever-action comeback is wild, wait until you see which legendary submachine gun just got a makeover no one expected. Number 9. Auto-Ordnance T5P Thompson Tommy Gun. Few guns are as iconic as the Thompson, better known as the Tommy gun. Once the choice of Prohibition gangsters and World War II soldiers, the Thompson became a legend in both history and pop culture. But its reputation came with a downside. The original all-steel models were extremely heavy, tipping the scales at nearly 12 pounds. That made them collector's pieces, not practical shooters. In 2025, Auto-Ordnance solved that problem with the T5P Thompson, a modern revival that trims nearly 40% of the weight by using an aluminum receiver and polymer furniture. At just over 8 pounds, the new Tommy is suddenly fun to shoot without throwing your back out. Chambered in 45 ACP, it keeps the original's punch while offering 20, 50, and even 100-round drum options. The 16.5-inch barrel and cuffs, the 16.5 barrel and cuts compensator preserve that unmistakable Thompson profile, and reliability has proven solid. Starting at around $1,550, it's not cheap, but compared to original models that sell for tens of thousands, the T5P is a steal. Of course, it's still a large gun for a semi-auto, and 45 ACP isn't the most budget-friendly caliber these days, but sales show that demand is real. The T5P is outselling some modern pistol-caliber carbines, proof that heritage design and smart updates never go out of style. And if you thought reviving a gangster's gun was bold, just wait till you see which Colt revolver went from flop to must-have in 2025. Number 8. Colt Viper. Back in 1977, Colt launched the Viper, a lightweight 6-shot revolver chambered in .38 Special. It was meant to bridge the gap between Colt's compact Cobra and the larger Police Positive, but the gun never found its audience. Too light for heavy loads, too large for pocket carry, the Viper was discontinued after just a single year. Only about 4,000 were ever made, leaving it as the forgotten snake in Colt's legendary lineup. Fast forward to recent years, and original Vipers started climbing past 5 figures at auctions. Collectors who once ignored them suddenly saw the Viper as the missing puzzle piece for a complete snake gun set. Colt noticed, and in 2024 they brought the Viper back, but this time it's no compromise. The new Viper is all stainless steel, chambered in .357 Magnum and available in 3-inch or 4¼ inch barrels. It shares its action with the modern King Cobra, delivering smooth double action and crisp single action pulls. The compact grip frame keeps it carry-friendly, while the added weight balances recoil in a way that old aluminum models never could. Street prices hover north of $1,100, but shooters and collectors alike are snapping them up. The only downside is the heft compared to true snub-nose revolvers, but fans say it finally feels like a Colt built to last. And while Colt gave new teeth to an old flop, another comeback is rewriting history for an entirely different reason. It was once the most copied handgun in the world. Number 7. Browning High Power. The Browning High Power was once one of the most influential pistols in the world. Designed by John Browning and completed by Daudenay Save in the 1930s, it became a standard sidearm for over 50 armies and police forces worldwide. But by the early 2000s, the high power was fading. FN officially ended production in 2018, leaving collectors and enthusiasts scrambling to preserve the legacy of a handgun that had shaped nearly a century of service. In 2025, the high power is back, and is better than ever. FN reintroduced it as the modern high power, blending the classic look with updated ergonomics and improved durability. At the same time, companies have released affordable clones such as the MCP-35, putting the design back in the hands of everyday shooters. The appeal is clear. The new high powers keep the signature double-stacked 9mm magazine, offering up to 15 rounds, while refining the trigger and safety mechanisms that were often criticized in the originals. With all-steel construction, comfortable grip contours, and modern sight options, the pistol retains its heritage while meeting today's standards. Prices range from around $600 for Turkish-made clones to over $1,200 for FN's official model. For many, the high-power comeback feels overdue. It bridges the gap between classic craftsmanship and modern reliability, giving shooters a chance to own a sidearm that defined military and civilian handgunning for generations. Number 6. KelTec R50. KelTec has always had a reputation for producing firearms that look unconventional, and the R50 may be one of their most striking designs yet. At first glance, it resembles something out of a sci-fi movie, but beneath the futuristic shell is a carbine chambered in 5.7 by 28mm that has shooters talking in 2025. The R50 feeds from the same 50-round helical magazine as the legendary FNP90, giving it a full box of ammo ready to go without the bulk of a drum or extended stick mag. The top cover flips open for quick loading, and the clear polymer magazine makes it easy to track your rounds. With a 16-inch barrel and folding stock, the R50 balances compact handling with real ballistic performance, squeezing extra velocity out of the lightweight 5.7 cartridge. Practicality hasn't been overlooked. The carbine features Picatinny rails up top and underneath, allowing for optics, lights, and other accessories. At an MSRP of about $815, it's more affordable than most P90-style firearms, which has made it especially popular among range shooters. Of course, there are trade-offs. 5.7 ammo is still more expensive than standard 9mm, and the unique magazine design takes time to master, even when loading. But with its high capacity, low recoil, and eye-catching design, the R50 has carved out a niche. Early 2025 runs sold out almost immediately, proving that this forgotten cartridge and its exotic platform are firmly back in style. Number 5. Beretta 92X Performance. The Beretta 92 is a pistol most shooters know, thanks to its decades of military service and pop culture fame. But by the late 2000s, the platform was seen as dated and overshadowed by polymer-framed, striker-fired pistols. Many thought the era of the big steel Beretta was over. That changed when Beretta introduced the 92X Performance, and in 2025, this gun is not only surviving, it's thriving. Built around an all-steel Vertic frame and the heavier Brigadier slide, the 92X Performance tips the scales at almost 3 pounds. That weight, however, is a feature, not a flaw. It soaks up recoil and keeps the muzzle flat, letting shooters run fast double taps and stay on target. Beretta also reworked the trigger, branding it the Extreme S, with a recep that's about 40% shorter than before. Crisp walls and minimal over-travel, it feels like a custom shop upgrade straight out of the box. The pistol comes in 2 main flavors, the standard 92X Performance and the defensive version, which trims a bit of weight to meet competition rules. Both include aggressive grip checkering, oversized magazine releases, and optics-ready slides. At about $1,700 to $1,800 MSRP, it's not a budget pistol, but competitive shooters are snapping them up. On the competition circuit, the 92X has proven it can run with and even outpace modern polymer handguns. The steel frame Beretta is back in demand, and 2025 marks its strongest resurgence since the 1980s. Number 4. Marlin 336. The Marlin 336 is one of the most beloved lever-action rifles in American history. Introduced in 1948, it became a go-to choice for deer hunters and outdoorsmen for decades. But in 2020, after financial troubles and the Remington bankruptcy, production of Marlin rifles stopped cold. For a while, it looked like the 336 was gone for good, leaving collectors scrambling and hunters disappointed. That changed when Ruger purchased the Marlin brand and began reviving its most famous rifles. In 2025, the Marlin 336 is officially back on the shelves, and demand is enormous. Chambered in .30-30 Winchester, it retains the classic lever-action design that made it legendary while adding subtle modern refinements. Fit and finish are better than ever, with tighter machining tolerances and smoother actions and stronger receivers. Ruger also kept the classic walnut furniture, though tactical variants with optics rails and threaded muzzles are beginning to appear as well. Performance is what hunters expect: reliable, accurate, and perfectly suited for brush country where quick shots matter. The rifle balances well, cycles smoothly, and maintains that timeless look. Priced at around $1,200 MRSP, the new 336 is priced higher than older used models, but buyers are lining up regardless. The revival of the 336 is more than just nostalgia. It's proof that Ruger intends to carry the Marlin heritage forward. In 2025, this once-forgotten hunting rifle is again at the heart of American deer camps. Number 3. Sig MCX Spear LT. The Sig MCX line has already earned a reputation for innovation, but the Spear LT represents a comeback of its own. Early MCX rifles were admired for modularity, yet often dismissed as niche compared to traditional AR platforms. By 2025, the Spear LT has changed that perception, cementing itself as one of the most versatile modern rifles available. The LT stands for light, and Sig achieved this by refining materials and trimming unnecessary weight while keeping the MCX's core strengths intact. Chambered in both 5.56 NATO and 300 blackout, it offers interchangeable parts with clear, color-coded components to prevent mix-up in the field. That makes caliber changes simple for both military units and civilian shooters. Its short-stroke gas piston system is another highlight. Designed for reliability even under harsh conditions like saltwater or extreme dust. Folding stocks and short barrel configurations give it adaptability for close quarters use, while suppressor-ready designs make it especially attractive for special operations and tactical shooters. In 2025, the MCX Spear LT also secured a major contract with the UK Royal Marines, cementing its status as more than just a civilian novelty. Prices for civilian versions start around $2,500, keeping it in the premium category. But the demand shows no sign of slowing. What once felt like an experimental platform has now become a modern benchmark. The MCX Spear LT isn't just a rifle making a comeback, it's reshaping what modular rifles are expected to be in 2025. Number 2. Kalashnikov AM-17. Kalashnikov rifles have always carried the weight of history. From the AK-47 to the AK-74, but the AM-17 marks a surprising modern comeback. Originally prototyped in the late 2010s, it vanished into obscurity as Russia prioritized other designs. Few outside of specialist circles even remembered it existed. Fast forward to 2025, and the AM-17 is finally rolling off production lines, putting a forgotten design back into active service. The AM-17 is a compact carbine, chambered in 5.45 by 39 mm, built with a polymer receiver reinforced by steel inserts. The goal was to reduce weight without sacrificing durability, and the result is striking. At just about 5.5 pounds, it's one of the lightest rifles Kalashnikov has ever produced. A folding, telescopic stock makes it ideal for vehicle crews and close-quarters fighting, while ambidextrous controls bring it up to modern standards. With Picatinny rails for optics and accessories, the AM-17 sheds the Cold War relic image often tied to Russian small arms. The rifle's rollout to Russian special units has signaled its real adoption, not just a prototype experiment. For collectors and enthusiasts abroad, the AM-17 represents something rare, a brand new Kalashnikov rifle, but doesn't simply repeat it. While import restrictions limit civilian access in many regions, the buzz around its release has already given this once forgotten design a spotlight few expected. Number 1. Palmetto State Armory H&R T48. The FAL rifle has long carried the nickname the right arm of the free world, serving in dozens of countries during the Cold War. But for American shooters, civilian legal versions were rare, expensive, and often pieced together from imported parts. One of the biggest what-ifs in U.S. small arms history was the T48, an American trial rifle from the 1950s that competed head-to-head with the M14 before being shelved. For decades, the T48 was remembered only by collectors and military historians, with no true civilian production model available. In 2025, Palmetto State Armory changed that, reviving the Harrington and Richardson H&R name. PSA has released the H&R T48, a faithful semi-auto clone of that elusive Cold War trial rifle. Built with correct inch pattern details, wood furniture meant a commitment to authenticity. The T48 finally gives enthusiasts a chance to own a rifle that has been locked away in history. The FAL retains the proven gas system, 7.62 NATO chambering, and robust construction, but PSA's modern tooling ensures tighter tolerances and reliable performance out of the box. While final pricing has hovered around the enthusiast range, far more affordable than original imports or collector builds, making it accessible to a wider audience. For decades, the T48 was a forgotten chapter in U.S. firearms development. In 2025, Palmetto has turned that forgotten trial gun into a shooter's reality, closing the gap between history and the modern range. Check out our next video, where we reveal 10 oldest Western revolvers that never die.